Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crossing Bridges Talk Show. I'm your host, Larry Montgomery Sr. This is my co host, Will. Will, introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm William Montgomery. It's a pleasure to be here.
Like a deer in the headlights. But anyway, this week we did have a guest. I guess he may not be feeling well because his, um, he was scheduled a couple of weeks ago and could not attend because he had gotten sick, COVID. So
Oh,
I just assumed that it was serious, left it like that. But then he was nice enough to say, to let me know after he got back on his feet that he was still interested. We tried to schedule him for this week, but there may be some complications or whatever. So anyway, we're going to do a part two of last week's conversation, which was on why black men don't go to church. Now we know I'm not going to put the video back up. Probably should. The recorded version may have it. I don't know. But I thought we just kind of chat about some of the things that we thought about over the week or whatever of the 7 reasons why black men don't attend church. So, Will, you with me?
yes, sir.
Okay, we're going one at a time. Their father didn't attend church. And since this is a show about fatherlessness and the impact that it would have on a family, it's kind of hard that if you had no role model in your life to actually understand the importance of attending church. I mean, I just like to kind of lay this quick point out to you, and I'll turn to you, Will. A lot of us sit here and, oh, I know God, I love God, I don't know God, and I'm just trying to hang out with everybody else and, be a part of the crowd, or I don't believe in God or whatever. But trust me, you standing in front of your house with your wallet in your hand, put all the money in the world that you have, or all the money that you got today from work or whatever, and somebody walks up on you with a gun and points it at you, you're going to say, Lord, help me. You're going to say it because I don't know what to do. I don't have a gun. I need this money, and this fool's got a gun on me. And there are other kinds of situations that are going to come up in life that it may be that last minute, that last few seconds you got on earth. I guarantee you, 99% of us are going to say, Lord, help me. Save me, God. Something to that effect. So, believers or not believers, fakers, whatever, we need to understand that even if you don't really believe, you need to have had an opportunity to be exposed to it to then say, I do, or I don't want to. Okay. So, back to my point about not having a father in the household. Having a father in the household is important, but also a father who is either aware or wants to become aware. I'm losing my voice here. The devil's busy, you know. So, Will, I see you're on mute. You ready?
Oh, yes. Well, as we always discuss, the father's impact on the making of young individuals, females and young males alike. That their role in the house is very important. So, the impact of them not being there, or being there but absent at Sundays and stuff like that in this conversation right now, uh, can affect those people, i.e., the children or even the spouse, even the wife, if the husband is not in a supportive role in the spiritual building up of that family. So it can definitely hurt and lead other people down the wrong path. Because if you don't know, um, if you're not right in the spirit, how are you going to be right in the physical?
Well, you want to, as a father, be able to expose your child or children to those things that may become important to them in their life. You know, listen, I can go in the kitchen and cook a hamburger, but my child might like turkey burgers, but at least I showed them how to cook. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So as far as joining a church or attending church, even going by a church, a lot of times in life you're going to go to a church for one reason or another. Maybe a wedding, maybe a funeral. That doesn't mean you believe or don't believe, but the point is you kind of understand what's supposed to happen when you get there. You know, you're not going to behave in a particular way because you've never been there. You know, uh, most people, I would assume, have common sense and they'll go in and they'll kind of try to fit in. And the pastor's up there talking, and you want to raise your hand and ask a question, unless it's that time during the course of the service, you probably want to keep your hand down. You know what I mean? And sometimes even the topic that they're talking about, and it's just a side note, you know, you may not necessarily want to let everybody know that this is your thinking on a particular topic until you kind of get a sense of, where's the pastor going or what does he mean or, you know, I could be wrong and dead wrong, but I asked a question and you knew it was kind of stupid when you asked it. But a lot of people feel that there's no dumb answer, no dumb question unless you don't answer it. But anyway, so back to our 7 issues. Number 2, they have to work. Now, yeah, you got a job, whereas you work on Sundays. Okay, you knew that when you took it, so you need to figure out on your side um, how to work this out. You know, do I come every Sunday to church and take off from work? Do I try to change my schedule so I can come to church at the time that it's available? Or do I kind of look around and see, well, maybe I need another job? Because if I believe in God, He'll work it out for me. He knows I want to go to church. He knows it's important to me to go to church. He'll work it out. May not happen this moment, maybe a week or 2 months, maybe a year, maybe a couple of years. I don't know. But if you pray and you believe in Him, He'll work it out. Will, do you have something?
I mean, finances is definitely important. You want to be able to take care of your family, but at the same time, that job is only part of you. It's only part of what your family is about. So, um, if you can, you know, I would highly recommend to look for something that's a little bit better. I mean, you might find something that's a higher paying job,
Yeah,
a better area.
yeah,
Sometimes that is the point of it. It's like, okay, well, they want me to work on Sunday. It's going to keep me away from church. This might not be the job for me.
right.
It pays good, but is it paying enough to where I'm not growing with my family? You
Mm-hmm.
know, probably not. So how about let me find, I'm stuck right now temporarily, but this is not the be all the end all. So I'm gonna get back on the job hunt, find something. Once I find something and get hired, then I let that job go and move to the next and drive on and enjoy my Sundays with my family at church.
Well, the thing is, when you're interviewing for the job, remember they're interviewing you to see if you're a good fit. You need to be also interviewing them if see if it's a good fit. And if church is important to you, you're going to ask that question. Well, what am I going before you even start talking about church? Uh, what hours am I going to work? What is expected of me? I mean, I've always worked as in management, but I also have had some jobs where I was an hourly employee. And as a manager is one thing, you know, I come and go when I please, you know, and if my peers are putting in more hours because of this or that, I put in more hours. That doesn't mean I'm putting them in on Sunday. That just means I'm just putting in more hours. The other thing, so at the interview, you're going to find out if they require you to work on Sundays or your Sabbath or however. And then that's when you have that discussion. Well, I'm not comfortable with that. Or is it like a temporary thing where when you first come to the job, your probation period, we want to make sure that you're available, you know, such and such is the situation. After you're off probation, which is whatever period of time, then okay, then it's different or it's not different. So we have the conversation. You may be desperate for a job, then you may have to, you know, swallow the bullet. Say, okay, I'm going to have to be out miss church on Sundays, uh, but maybe I can go to the Saturday, service or the Wednesday Bible study and do some catching up or whatever. I mean, you work it out. Okay. The next item was number three, too many collections. Now, it's kind of a generalization, too many collections. You have your regular collection, then maybe there's a special one. Then maybe something came up, or now there's an event coming and we want to prepare for it separately. It's not that there's too many collections, it's just that the church itself, the physical church, the organization is trying to manage its money, okay, and also raise money. You don't have to give it every offering. You know, you come in, you made your decision how much you're going to give, because we had that conversation about tithing, and you put it in the plate, or you put your envelope in, or whatever, and that's it. I did mine. I got no more to give today. You ain't got to feel bad about it. A lot of people go to church, put $1 in the plate, have 200 or 300 in their pocket. Well, I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going over to Fridays after church. That was their decision. But don't sit there and complain about all these different offerings when you're not obligated to give to them. It's your own personal commitment to give what you're going to give. Is that clear?
Well, I think it's a little bit more than that because you know how some people are in church. They get very judgmental, even though it's supposed to be a non-judgment zone. So you have all the eyes looking at you like you ain't gonna put nothing in on this. You ain't gonna put nothing in on this, and it can be an uncomfortable situation to where people feel like they're inadvertently being bullied to do something that they don't want to do. Like, oh well, they just passed the tithing. I gave the tithing, and now they're looking at me crazy because I don't want to donate to the building fund. Well, let me put the money in there so these people stop staring at me like I'm crazy. You know,
Listen,
Mm,
people staring at you, they may be staring at you for an entirely different reason.
could
That
be,
toilet paper still hanging on the back of your pants. But
could be.
one thing that you can do, and churches that I've been to, um, going up to, or the bastards coming by, or going up to the altar to make your contribution. You know, you, you put it in. I mean, you put it in, or you put your hand under the plate and you lift it up. Okay, that means I don't have it. I wish I had it, but I'm in support of it. Okay, fine. Nobody's gonna say anything about that. If you do it all the time, so you do it all the time. They ain't they ain't paying you. You know, you in there to do mind your business, not be judgmental on anybody else's business. And the pastor should have already kind of let people understand that this is how it is. People come and we thank God that they came, and we ask that we give them an opportunity to contribute. If they do, great. If they don't, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to hold you accountable for it. If that's the kind of church that you got that they have issue with you because you didn't bring no money, stop going to that one. Find another one. But anyway, okay. Anything else? Let me check on.
Mhm.
Number four, services are too long and inflexible. Um, Too long is relative to you and your situation. Inflexible is relative to you and your situation. The reality is, you walked in there freely. You can walk out of there anytime you feel you want to leave. If you feel you're sitting in the pews or whatever, and that you have to stay because everybody stays to 6 o'clock at night, that's your issue. And this is what a father has to be able to do with his children, to explain to them, all right, well, Dad, I don't like being in church all day. I like to go out and play. Okay. Um, let's see how we can work that out. You know, because no sense in you being sitting someplace where you don't understand what's going on, and you're not comfortable and you're not happy. You know, I want you to be happy about this. I want you to learn something. You know, we go to church because we're pillars of the community, and we stay in, we come in early and we leave late. Well, that would be dad's issue, because more than likely, when that child gets old enough to say, "No, I ain't going," what do you think they're going to say? "No, I ain't going." Okay? But you know, and it's a situation where it's not a problem to have a conversation with the pastor or other members of the church. And look, I got three small kids here. You know, they get antsy. Do we have a daycare? Can I take them to an ante room where we can sit and see the like on television or something, a video of what's going on out in the sanctuary? Nothing's the only thing in stone is death. Everything else you can be changed. Okay, am I good? Okay. Number five, they have lost faith in God or do not believe in God. Well, losing faith in God, that happens. Not believing in God, that happens. Um, I don't want to be in a situation where I don't believe in God, because if I don't believe in God, I'm only believing in me. And I took a hard look at myself lately to say that, look, I can do everything on my own. If that's how you feel, okay, let's see how it works out for you. 100 out of 100 people realize real quick, I can't do everything by myself. And if you can't face that fact, maybe you need to find a different church. Or I don't know, I can help you. You know? Uh, well,
Speechless.
all right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to find one that you can really bite into here. You only got two more. Hold on there. Insensitivity in the pulpit. Yeah, that's kind of one of those situations where it's in your head that they talking about me. I mean, if they talking about you specifically and they don't call your name, if you open your mouth and say something, then everybody know what you're talking about. Um, but there's not a, I don't, if you go to a church where you can't go to the pastor who said it at the pulpit, you shouldn't be going there. Because you're not doing yourself any good. You just sit there and well, whatever you say must be right. Well, if whatever you said must be right, then why you got a problem with it? Yeah. If what he said was wrong, or maybe it was personal, you had a conversation with him and he came out and said, "Well, Larry came and told me such and such and so and so he was doing." Um, that probably would be a real problem for most people. Some people respond differently, and I think we had one of those responses. It wasn't in church, but at the Oscars. Somebody let something come out their mouth that, how you write a check, but you can't cash it. You know? Don't let your mouth write a check that you're behind can't cash.
Hmm.
That may have been the situation or an example of it. But 99 times out of 10, if something the pastor's saying that you're not comfortable with, you should be able to go and sit down and talk to him in private. You know, some people might get a little riled up and start yelling something like that. That's unacceptable. Because you got no self control. And that's one thing that you do learn, or you should learn in church, is self control. You can say anything you want to anybody. You just need to know when is the best time to say it and what is the best way to say it. And you can learn that. You learn that. That one you want to speak on, Will, or should I go to the next one?
Nah, I'm let that one slide by too.
Well, that was the last one, man. So I
I
don't
thought
know
you said
what
there
to
was two.
say.
I thought you said there was two left.
No, that
Oh,
was when we had number five. This has
oh,
been an ongoing occurrence.
okay.
But anyway, um, the reasons why people give excuses, the excuses people come up with for not attending church, when they really sit down and look at them, you might say, that's not really that great of excuse. We talked about the one about the job thing. I'm working on it. Okay. That's why I'm not going. But, this isn't a permanent situation. If it's permanent and you're happy with it, stop complaining. There's so many online churches nowadays, you know, is you really have little or no excuse. Oh, we didn't get up and go to church. No, we sat in front of the TV and we watched church. Okay. Did you learn something? Yeah. Okay, good. You know, did you feel it? Maybe, maybe not. You know, Watching on TV is one thing. Being in the actual atmosphere is a totally different thing. You know,
Mhm.
and that's one thing you can't get at home. All the saints sitting, you know, and getting caught up in what's being said, what's being explained, or what's being preached. You know, if you go into a church where every time you go there, they're talking about, oh, you're going to go to hell because you're a sinner, you're not going to learn a lot at that church. Uh, Maybe you need another church. You could have two, whatever. But you go to church to, how they say it, the church is the hospital for the soul. People come to church because they have a problem, you know, whether it's tangible or intangible, but they got a problem that they want, that they cannot solve themselves, or they're not happy with what's happening so far. So you say, well, I'll go to a higher power. I mean, yeah, I could go to my neighbor, but he ain't going to answer the door. Just, keep coming there crying about I ain't making enough money. I go to God and say, God, what do I need to do to earn more money? Now, he'll lead you. You know, he may not lead you by saying, okay, well, pick this job, this extra job in the newspaper. He may send you a friend, an acquaintance, to give you some information that could help you get that second job if you need it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So everything isn't necessarily one one size fits all. You know, but if you don't have that other resource that you can just sit at home, excuse me, when you're facing an issue, a problem, or whatever, and you got nobody to turn to, who do you turn to? You know, if you don't believe in God, you have no one to turn to. Turn to yourself. See how that works out for you. It ain't worked out yet, but you know, you're still sitting there.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm entertaining myself. I'm waiting for Ed McMahon number 2 to throw something on the table here.
Well, I mean, it's the issue is, I think, with a lot of people is, I mean, we say it's excuses, they say it's the reasons. At the end of the day, you know, they have to do what's best for them. If they're shortchanging themselves and their spirit, that's what free will is. I mean, it doesn't make it right. It just means that that's what's going on. I mean, they can try to, excuse me, get other people to believe what it is that they're saying, but at the end of the day, people hear that excuse and they say, yeah, okay, that's what you want to call it.
But as a father, we do have a responsibility to discern those things that are important, those things that are not important. I mean, I may not like peanut butter, but the kids need that protein in their sandwich. So, okay, peanut butter and jelly, great deal. Most people like it. Some kids don't, you know. But at least I made an effort to let you understand that You know, hey, you know, you need the peanuts and you need the jelly. You know, because they work together in your body, whatever. But if you decide not to, then maybe you have to figure out. Well, you have peanut butter. I mean, you'll have jelly and what they call it, Nutella.
Nutella, yeah.
Yeah, have something else, or just jelly sandwich. And figure out where else you're going to get the benefits of peanuts from. Uh, and so we have a greater responsibility than just about me. You know what I mean? When we're talking about religion. Well, I don't believe in God. That doesn't mean that your kids might not or might not need to understand that. You may have a preacher right there, someone that God sent to you. I sent that child to you and I need you to nurture it. And the first thing out your mouth is, hey, there ain't no God. Oh, what are you talking about? You like to sing gospel. Like, my dad's an idiot. But until I get to be 21, I got to suffer with it. Okay.
Actually, you can be emancipated at 16, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I mean, but as a father in that particular situation, you got to look at yourself and say, hey, I didn't encourage my child to be all that they could when they, at that age where they could have been, involved. I could have helped them. I could have supported that one, a little more. Was the inconvenience to me? So what? I'm the father. I should be inconvenienced because none of us are perfect. And so if your life is perfect and everything is going good, then your life sucks because you ain't doing all you could do. Really, life isn't supposed to be what they call it, hearts and roses.
mm,
There's going to be some conflict. There's going to be some confusion. There's going to be some issues. There's going to be some problems. Some are going to be major problems, you know, and some will be life changing problems. So look forward to it because that's how it works. Uh, and if I can do anything to help you to make your life easier, that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm your father. I mean, if I'm a good father, if I'm not, a whole different conversation. So that's my sermon for the week.
amen.
Amen. Pass the plate. Oh, we're gonna lift it up, boss. I ain't got no money to put in it, but we're gonna lift it up. Okay. All right. Well, we put 30 minutes in. It's a short one. Not a problem. Uh, I don't know if there'll be a part three on this particular topic, but hopefully we'll get next week uh, if it's necessary, we'll make that decision then. All right.
You
So,
admin notes.
uh, yeah, go right ahead.
All right. At this time, we would like to thank our viewers for viewing us, and if you'd like to participate or if you'd like to have us address a certain topic on the show, please hit us up in the comment section. Or if you would like to be a panelist, please also hit us up in the comment section, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, we have a gentleman coming next week, Robert Bass. We'll be sending out an announcement on Facebook about the topic, and so yeah, we're getting more guests to come on. We're trying to do that on a regular basis, but we still have an open forum for those of you who are, have a topic or a question about anything. And I think we may make that a formal type thing. Set aside actual amount some time, and that's going to force Will to manage it to either make up a topic for that time or literally come with one in case no one has one. I know we figured this out. So in the meantime, in between time, we'll see you again next week, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
And the creek don't rise.
Amen and God bless.